Welcome everyone to another edition of Bosco Racing. You can see our racers coming around the track, finishing up their warm-up lap and getting into their starting positions. This is going to be one heck of a race tonight. All the racers are here with the exception of Gio. Here we go, number one dad leading us out, followed by Trump Train into the S-turns for the first time. This is going to be a Merry Christmas of a race. Let's go. We got the Rizzler sitting there in number 3. Langford's in the blue sweater tonight. Number one dad and Trump Train going crazily into turn 1 here. Number one dad deep into the turn, turning it tight through the S-turns. You can see already Blood Moon further back in the pack, making it hell on the Rizzler's bumper. Here we go, Langford, Rizzler, Blood Moon, DDAC. Bosco is here tonight. Bosco is racing in the orange. Let's see what he can do. He qualified first tonight. Oh, there's Blood Moon passing into turn 1. Him, Langford, DDAC, all going at it right there. Boy, I'll tell you what. Here you go, Trump Train right on the tail end of number one dad, battling him for the lead. Let's see what happens here. Number one dad holds him off for one more time into turn 1, keeping it tight. Trump Train's close behind. Look at this, 4 wide going into turn 1. Whoa, what a race further on back. And Bosco's in the race on that one. He is in the orange. Here we go, coming out of that one with the lead is Extreme, followed by Red Rocket, Steve C, and Bosco. This is a heck of a good 4-man race. Back to the front, not sure what race we're going to call all night tonight because racing is happening everywhere. Here we go, mid-pack, Rizzler getting attacked by DDAC. DDAC coming off, and we have a caution. Debris on the track. That's a rare one here at the karting world, but debris found on the track, a piece of cart. Not quite sure. We're going to have to evaluate what that is. Number one dad handing it over to one of the officials so we can get a ruling on what the heck this is. As I said earlier, Bosco is here on Christmas vacation. He is racing back in the orange right now. He qualified number 1 tonight over all of the other drivers. Crazy wild card tonight is all of the drivers qualified in the same cart. Bosco, fresh back from vacation, is qualified first. We had a 7-man invert, and number one dad was the beneficiary of that invert, and that's why he's starting first. Look at this, number one dad though is making the best of it. Go ahead, making a good run through the horseshoe turn, being followed once again by Trump Train. Trump Train's right on his bumper. Gotta make it interesting here, folks. Look at this, number one dad, Trump Train, Langford, Blood Moon. Those top 4 are really cooking around the track. Running right now around 19.4, 19.5. There's Peppers in the yellow, no mistake. Oh, look at this, 2 by 2 by 2, through into turn 1. Number one dad giving everybody enough room, but look at this, able to stave off the attack. Trump Train falls in behind him. Blood Moon ducks underneath Langford. Can Blood Moon finish the pass? Langford's making it tight. Got the preferred line, and Langford. Oh, but Blood Moon gets him coming out of the TV turn. Across the start-finish line, they are side by side. Look at this, folks. Blood Moon completes the pass. Langford dips in behind, DDAC behind him, and Peppers hot on DDAC's trail. Let's see, folks, what all happens here next. Look at this, DDAC on the outside of Peppers. Peppers back to the bumper of DDAC. Look at this, Peppers in the yellow. Oh, look at this, again, 2 by 2 going in turn 1. Blood Moon already making the move on his next victim, and that would be Trump Train. Trump Train staving off the battle, though. And here we go. Blood Moon's right on the tail of the man Trump Train. Here we go. You got number one dad running away just a bit into turn 1 and then into the S-turns. Back farther back. You can hear the skidding and the sliding. I believe that was Extreme being forced wide just so as to avoid a collision. Look at this. Number one dad one more time around. And look at that, serpentining through the S-turns. Back behind Peppers in the yellow is the Rizzler. being followed by Extreme and Blood Moon. But here at the top of the pack, look at this. Trump Train gets number one dad wide. Number one dad snaps into the turn. Now it's number one dad and Blood Moon going side by side. Look at this. 2 by 2 again behind him. Number one dad holds off Blood Moon. Look at this. Trump Train. No. That's Blood Moon. Sneaks underneath Trump Train. Trump Train now going right back at it, and Langford back at it with him. That's Langford DDAC now side by side. DDAC got the outside lane here. Langford dips to the inside. He's going to give DDAC that position. Pepper's following up, see what happens there and see how he can capitalize. That is now into the TV turn. You can see coming out of the TV turn, that's Blood Moon making the pass on number one dad. This is for first place. Look at this. Blood Moon finishes the pass cleanly, and boom, he is off to the races. That leaves number one dad in second position, still being followed by Trump Train. DDAC now in fourth position, Langford fifth. Here we go. Let's see what happens now. All right, this race is straightened out, a little bit of single file. Let's see what's going on here a little bit deeper in the pack. Look at this, Bosco in the orange going after his next victim. See if he can't close up the gap. Got to get to the bumper, and you got to get to passing him. Got to do it all cleanly. Look at this, Trump Train. Number one dad side by side. Trump Train thinks better of it, slips back under the inside. Puts DDAC alongside of Trump Train. Trump Train's got the preferred line coming out of the S turns, and here we go. That's Trump Train. That's DDAC dipping in front of Langford in the horseshoe turn. DDAC in the straightaway, being followed by Langford in the blue sweatshirt. Look at Langford go. Here we go. Is he staying right on DDAC's trail? You got number one dad in second still. Oh, look at this. A little bit of a tussle right there with Peppers getting a little bit sideways. Peppers holds it straight and continues to race. Right there, there's a lot of action coming out of that little horseshoe right there. At the end of the S-turns. Let's see what happens. Let's go. Here we go, number one dad. Here we go, Trump Train, DDAC, Langford. I believe that is Red Rocket next, and Peppers. Look at these racers run. Red Rocket's kart cam is not in action right now. However, Plankton Racing, that's Steve C., his camera is running. He is in the green tonight. We'll catch up with him a little bit later, but you can also always check him out at Plankton Racing right here on YouTube. Here we go, number one dad being followed by Trump Train. Trump Train pushing him wide. Number one dad's gotta stick this turn. Oh, look at this. Side by side for I think the fourth, fifth time this race. Look at that. Trump Train, oh, getting run off wide, but maintains the battle, and let's see what all happens here. There he goes. Oh no, Trump Train's go! Trump Train around. Trump Train is not happy. Trump Train number one dad having a hell of a battle, and it looks like DDAC just gets in there and wants to stick his nose underneath. Right coming out of here. Here's the replay. Whoa, DDAC sticking his nose underneath there. Obviously, knowing that Trump Train's going to run that a little bit wide just to get his approach into the horseshoe right. But let's see this replay. Let's see what all happens. Here comes number one dad out of this turn here. And Trump Train right behind him, already being pushed here. I mean, you got to call it like you see it here. And that, boy, I'll tell you, it looks like DDAC trying snuck under that position. Probably had a really good run off of the S-turns. And then, you know, let's check it out. Let's check this replay out one more time. Let's see what it looks like in reverse. As the other driver's clearing out. Here you go. Right about here is when contact starts. And, boy, I'll tell you, you know, that's... There we go, one more time in full speed. Other racers checking up. You can tell right there, Trump Train in the orange helmet, not happy with that kind of contact. I mean, coming out of that turn, you know, anybody can dip underneath somebody. But, you know, to have that finesse bit of raceability where you're going to go ahead and leave that It's not open. There was no way that was open. And, you know, you can duck under anybody in a plethora of positions, and you're obviously going to get them spun around. There's a big difference between a slit and an opening. And you just can't fit these carts through a slit. Lord knows we've all tried. All right, well, anyway, let's get back to racing here. We got Trump Train getting his spot back. D-Dac sending himself to the back of the field. And I believe for some reason he's starting in 10th position instead of 11th. Maybe Racer 6 is a lap down. But let's get back to green flag racing here, folks, and see what all is going to happen from here on out. Through the S-turns, you have, of course, Blood Moon. Blood Moon's in some good equipment tonight, and he's got the ability to race fast. So you know what? He's going to take off like a banshee, and don't blame him. Blood Moon's thinking right now, I got to get away from all the drama and run my cleanest, hottest laps right now, and he's going to do that. He's a very capable driver. Here we go, number one dad. And look at Trump Train. He is heated after that little incident. Gets his spot back behind number one dad. Now he's really heated. Look at this. Number one dad Langford side by side again into turn one. Number one dad staving off the attack one more time. Boy, I'll tell you what. Number one dad is not easy to pass, but I can tell you one thing, Trump Train is taking no shit. Oh, look at this, Langford looking to the inside. Trump Train, now Trump Train Trump Train and Langford got to go side by side. And they do, and here we go. Trump Train maintains that position. Langford falls back in line, but look who's behind Langford. Where did he come from? It's Peppers in the yellow. Let's go, Peppers. All right, here's the rest of the field. But look at this, Trump Train. Look at this, number one dad sketching away just a bit. He's making up a bit of ground, not really on Blood Moon, but he's really kind of spacing it out just a bit. Look at this, further back in the pack, you see Steve C and D-Dac going at it with Extreme topper. Here we go, Extreme getting turned just a little bit. Extreme falling back just a bit. D-Dac pushing through one more time. Number one dad, Trump Train, Langford. Here we go, this second pack right here, you got Steve C leading the charge in the green over at Plankton Racing. You can check out Steve C's helmet cam to see all what he's seeing right out in front of him at all times throughout this race. Here we go. Lead pack one more time. Look at Langford. He's sizing up Trump Train, wondering what he's got for him. And I think he does got something for him, because I can tell you right now, he's been sticking with him the entire race. Oh, here you go, back in the pack. Look at this, D-Dac, Steve C out of the horseshoe turn. Look at this, Trump Train, is he gonna get him? Trump Train gives him the bump over in the TV turn, and here we go, off to the races. These three have been running like crazy this entire race. Look at this, Trump Train finishes the pass on number one dad, and he is off to get the Blood Moon. Here we go. You know what is kind of crazy about this whole situation right now is that number one dad's slowly going backwards, and I don't think he's ever had such a good time with that going backwards. He is having a blast tonight. All right, here we go. Trump Train, number one dad. Look at Langford sizing up the number one dad. Peppers falling in behind him. And look at this. Bosco back up to the 6th position. Wow, Boston bounced all the way back to 11th, and now he's back to 6th. Look at this. Who is running side by side here? That is, I believe, Extreme and D-Dac going side by side through the S-turns here. Nope, that's Steve C. Steve C and D-Dac are having a hell of a race back here. Look at this, Steve C's not going to let him get away. Look at that, he gets into the front stretch. Hard charging. Let's see what's going on. Let's go back to the pack. Meanwhile, Langford's sizing up number one dad, and he tucks underneath him one more time. Let's see what all happens here. Number one dad trying to drag race him down the front stretch. Number one dad's got a bit of an engine in that thing, but I'll tell you right now, looks like Langford's got a really well-turning cart. He's handling and being able to duck under everybody tonight. Peppers there ready to chomp, back in 5th position. And there goes Langford. Langford ducks under one more time, giving number one dad a little bit of reprieve here. And this top 6 is going bananas. Top 6 is ending with Bosco right here in the orange. You can see Bosco's racing a hell of a race already, back up from 10th. Anything can happen right here, but look at this. Langford and number one dad side by side. Number one dad pulls the outside. Can he hold him off? I don't think he can. Langford with a beautiful pass in the S turns. And who's going with him? None other than Peppers in the yellow. Number one dad gives him a little bit of tag back. Oh, that's going to cost them. That's going to cost them. Look at this. Gets passed by Rocket and Bosco. Look at this. So now number one dad's falling back. Like I said, number one dad's falling back pretty regularly here, but I don't think he's ever had so much fun going in the wrong direction. There we go, number one dad with a chance to race his son Bosco, and I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot of fun. But these two right here, we got Extreme and DDAC. Extreme trying to hold off DDAC back in the pack, and right here, here's number one dad trying to keep up with Bosco in the orange. Steve C's back up to DDAC's bumper. Look at this. Steve C ducks underneath him. Steve C goes over. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. DDAC gets plastered up against that wall. We had someone get plastered last week in that wall. Here's the replay. And it almost looks like a repeat of it. I don't know what's going on. In that corner, you either got to be hooked up or you're going to be hooked out. Almost ended up in the lobby here. Let's see what happens here. Got Steve C ducks underneath him beautifully to make this pass. Drag race into the start-finish line. Steve C beats him to the start-finish line, and DDAC just gets loose sideways, and his cart comes about 4 or 5 inches off the ground with those inside wheels. Here it is in reverse. Look at that cart flip. Woo! Doesn't look like Steve C caught any edge of that corner, nor does it look like there was anything upsetting about that entire play. Here it is one more time in regular speed. Boom! Oof. There's been a few racers kiss that wall, boy. I'll tell you what, it takes 1 second to lose concentration and get into the marbles, and boom, you're going to slide right on over. A little bit of yelling. That was number one dad. Like I said, he's having a great time racing tonight. Probably one of the finest races tonight. I mean, he's gotten the opportunity to start in first position, race good against Blood Moon, race good against Trump Train, race good against Langford. And boy, I'll tell you what, to see him in this 7th position, a little bit unusual to see him go backwards, but you know what? He's having a blast doing it. So now that's in the orange there. That's Bosco. And what's going on here? You can see, if you want to see this full conversation, like I said, head over to Plankton Racing. Watch Steve C's cart cam, and you'll see exactly what that conversation had to say. But it looks like DDAC and Steve C had words. Might want to check it out over there and see. Anyway, we're back to green flag racing, and that, like we were talking about, that guy in the orange there, that's Bosco. Bosco's running in 6th position, and look at that, number one dad right on his tail. Let's see if he can't get him turned around. Lord knows he's going to try, if he can even stay with him. Here we go, number one dad being chased down by DDAC right here. DDAC going hard into turn 1. Number one dad's gives way a little bit, kisses that inside wall. And look at this. This is one hell of a battle here. Langford ducking to the inside. Can he grab a spot on Trump Train? Time will tell. Let's see what all happens here. Whoa. This is one hell of a race right here at the front of the pack. And that Pepper's sitting right there with Red Rocket, ready to trounce. That's number one dad being chased down by DDAC. It looks like DDAC's going to make the pass right here. And number one dad sticking to that outside, sticks that outside lane, runs DDAC off, boom, into the turn, and away he goes out of the S turn. One more time into the horseshoe turn with DDAC on his tail. And followed by Steve C. Steve C and DDAC have had one hell of a battle all night tonight. Not sure what all happened in that last caution. I'm sure DDAC I'm not sure if DDAC caused the caution or if Steve C did, but if one of them caused the caution, oh, here we go, DDAC making the pass, number one dad, but if one of them did cause the caution, one of them should have went to the back of the pack. Here we go. DDAC makes the pass on number one dad coming into the S turns and falling in behind. Who do we got here? We got our second place position, that is Trump Train, Langford, Peppers in the yellow, that's Red Rocket, and Bosco, followed by DDAC, number one dad, Steve C, Extreme, and the Rizzler. Looks like Racer 6 parked his car for the night, so he will get a DNF on the night. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with his piece of gear, but he has definitely parked it for the night. Now, with that being said, we're 21 minutes into this race, boy, and I'll tell you what, we are only now seeing action. Oh, look at it! Oh, Bosco and Peppers get into a little bit. It's not, it doesn't, let's see the replay on this. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like Bosco had the run underneath. Peppers trying to close the door. Boston giving him that position back, but Marshall thought better of it and decided, hey, we're going to go caution, boys. Let's go caution one more time. We are 22 minutes into this race, and I'll tell you what, it is a doozy. 21 minutes into the, or 22 minutes into the race, and I don't think these guys are about to let up on the action. Look at these two talking it up. That's Red Rocket and Peppers. And let's see, let's get lined up, boys. Let's see how it goes. That's Langford, Trump Train. Is Langford or Trump Train going to restart in the second position? We know who's got the first position all solidified, and that's Blood Moon there in the gray helmet. And let's see here. We got Langford in the number 2 spot, Trump Train in the number 3 spot. Peppers ready to get on Trump Train's tail. And then you got Red Rocket, Bosco, DDAC, all ready to finish the night in great shape. Let's see what all happens here, folks. Through the S turn, straight and clean as can be. Here we go through the horseshoe turn one more time. That's Steve C. Look at Steve C making a nice pass on number 1 down there. And drag racing into turn 1, and there he goes into turn 1. We can see S turns. And let's go here. Finishing up the race. Awfully we all right. For one dad. Megan doesn't want any more people to pass him, but it's inevitable. Extreme gets him too. Wow, all the way to the back. Number 1 dad is right. Well, he's not going to let the Rizzler pass. He did grab the Rizzler. Here we go, number 1. Here we go. We got the leader coming around. Look at this. Trump Train holding off Peppers one more time through the S turn. Some bit of nice driving there. That's our leader and our second place runner, Blood Moon and Langford. Trump Train and Peppers. Peppers go. Oh, Peppers sideways through the TV turn. We have 1 to go, folks. 1 to go. And it looks like this might be the finishing order. Let's take a look here. We got our leader right here. That's Blood Moon. Number 2, Langford in the blue. Langford was hooked up all the way every day. And Trump Train, Peppers, Red Rocket. That is Bosco, DDAC, and the checkered flag is out. We had one hell of a night of racing. Everyone, thanks for watching Bosco Racing. If you like what you're seeing, like,